Hmm. New YouTube comment. Junk. Sell off for parts. The amount of money you would have to rebuild it, you could buy a good one. Must be new here.
It might not look like it, but I've made some pretty major progress on the Jeep project. If you saw the last video, you saw us pull the Jeep out of the woods and find out that the frame on this thing is pretty much gone. But I found a new frame for it. A couple viewers offered me some frames, but I found this one locally for $100. It seemed like the best deal. And I got these springs with it for another $80 to replace the broken ones that were on the Jeep. Well, actually I got these springs for $80. But I broke them down. Scraped off as much gunk as I could. Hit them with the needle scaler. Wire brushed all of them with the grinder. And after all that, I realized I really need a sandblaster if I'm going to get through this project. A few of the wraps were missing, so I salvaged some off of one of the broken springs. What do you think? Should I forge some knives out of this stuff? I was able to clean up the center bolts from the rear springs, but I had to chop off the front ones to get them out. Digging around in my scrap bin, I actually found one that's the right size. I'll have to cut it to length. Came from somewhere, I don't know where. And I found another one that was the wrong size, but it was a size bigger, so turned it down, rethreaded on the lathe. That's good to go. I gave everything a final wipe down with mineral spirits to clean off any loose dirt. There seem to be conflicting theories on painting leaf springs, whether it's better to paint the leaves individually or to paint the springs assembled. I found a video from a spring manufacturer that recommended not painting between the leaves because it just scrapes off, gums things up, and generally causes problems. So I'm putting everything back together before painting. And I just did a quick rattle can job because it's a leaf spring. The paint isn't going to last very long anyway, but at least it won't get as rusty while this project is sitting in my driveway for the next 4 years. Once the paint was dry, the springs all came apart again. I pressed new bushings into the mount end, painted the ends of the eyes that I couldn't get to while it was assembled, and did a coat of dry lube between each leaf. That should give at least some modest corrosion resistance and a little lubrication. I know someone is going to say that in the 50s the Army said not to lubricate leaf springs because the friction helps to damp the spring. But that theory doesn't make much sense to me because that's what shock absorbers are for, and modern springs have Teflon sliders in them. Only 10 of the 24 spacers for the wraps are good enough to use. And they're kind of an odd size, and I can't find a direct replacement for them. It's an odd length and diameter and everything. So, $13 more to go. With repetitive parts like this, the more you make, the faster it seems to go. And with the center pins cut to length, these are ready to go. Where was I? Oh yeah, the frame. This is actually an M38A1 frame. It's the military version of the CJ-5. We'll get to the differences a little later, but it should work pretty much as a direct replacement. This frame's a lot better than the other one, but it's not without some issues. It's got a poorly repaired crack in the front crossmember. Replacing the crossmember would require pretty much disassembling the entire frame, so I'm opting to try to get a better repair on this. I cut some plates to reinforce the repair, and then gave everything a coat of weld-through primer to give some corrosion resistance between the new and old metal. One of the rear shock mounts had part of a shackle seized into it. This was a fun one because it's not only riveted on, but also welded. I did eventually have to cut off what was left of the back bumper to get the welds cut out. But by the time I finished that, it was pretty much dark, so I didn't video it. The consensus on replacing the spring mounts seems to be it's okay to bolt them instead of rivet them, but either way you still need to weld them in place. I'm using the spring to make sure it's lined up right before I tighten the bolts down. The spring mount on the other side had a couple of broken welds, but that was salvageable. And since this thing's getting converted to electric, I spent some time grinding and drilling rivets, and got rid of the engine mounts, and any of the other brackets I won't be needing. Probably should have done this first, but I power washed out all of the crud and remains of animal nests in the frame rails. I decided to paint the frame with Chassis Saver. The directions on this say for optimal results to sandblast, but it can also be applied directly over tight rust. So my subpar sandblast job should be just about perfect. Overall, I think that came out pretty okay. Had some trouble with drips and runs brushing it on, but it's not going to be a showpiece. So what are some of the differences between the military version, the M38A1, and the civilian version, the CJ-5? Well, one of the most notable ones is back here, you have a machine gun mount. Probably not something I'm going to utilize, but the way things are going, you never know. There were also a couple of other mounts that I cut off. I'm not sure exactly what those were for. The M38 is also boxed all the way from basically the front bumper back to behind the firewall. At the end of the box section, you have this threaded mount for these thread-in shackles. Most of the CJ5s don't have nearly as much boxing on the frames, except for the first 3 years, and this is one of those. And the first 3 years of CJ5s, because they were basically made out of parts left over from the M38A1, do share the same threaded shackles. So it should be a direct swap over. Except the threads in the ones on these are stripped out. Easiest way to deal with that is just to ream these out a little bit and swap to a closed style unthreaded shackle. On the backside I am keeping the original threaded shackles, and this is actually one that was original to the Jeep. And some fresh axle snubbers. And so that we have a few more parts of the original Jeep, we'll get the transmission crossmember back in. Well, it's not perfect, but I think that's a big step forward. Feels like it could become a Jeep again someday. Next thing to do is going to be to finish stripping down the other frame, go through the axles so I can at least roll this thing around. If you want to see that, stick around. And this feels weird for me to ask, but maybe you find some value in what I'm doing. And if you do, maybe consider supporting me on Patreon. I'm going to have to buy a lot of parts for this thing.